Dudes and dudettes, how are you guys? This is Chazzy and welcome back to What's the Damage, the good old WTD question mark here on my channel, the absolute longest running series on this channel ever. My very first video was WTD and I didn't think it would expand to something so large, you know, 140 videos in this playlist here, and I don't think it's going to change because this is going to be a remake of an old video that I already did, so it's not going to be 141 videos, it's going to stay at 140 for a while, you know, and this is going to be my final What's the Damage before I finish off this cycle of YouTube videos, you know, before I hit 1,000 and just chill for a month or two. So I'm gonna try to end with a bang, although I'm really tired. Maybe you guys are gonna tell, you know, I'm really burnt out, man, you know, not just from YouTube, you know, but just my routine, you know, working like freaking hell, and it's been crazy lately. And today I'm going to be discussing the very controversial topic of violence in video games, you know, and this is actually kind of goes hand in hand with my last video talking about what makes a serial killer. I discussed in depth what might drive a person to take somebody else's life, you know, in a consequential manner, you know, doing it several times throughout the course of a certain period. And I actually think that this can be considered as sort of like a spin-off of sorts to that, you know, because for many years there have been, you know, these controversies, you know, about violence in video games actually spreading to the people that play them in real life, you know. So it kind of begs the question, does playing violent games make you a violent person necessarily? And there have been actually many divided opinions in the community over this, you know. There have been many different opinions about it, and what I think is actually really interesting is how the correlation begins in the first place. Like, if somebody plays a violent game and then they take a gun and shoot somebody in public, does that automatically mean that the game inspired them to do it, or did they already have that desire before and the game just spurred them on, or it's just a complete coincidence? There has been so much debate over the years, and one of, if not the most infamous case of video games correlating to violence was the Columbine High School massacre that happened in Colorado way back in 1999, and it was when two 12th graders, two seniors, you know, Eric Harris and Dylan Klebold, actually massacred their fellow students and teachers. I think they killed in total 12 people or so and injured a few others. Then they eventually took their own lives in the I think it was the library or the cafeteria. I'm pretty sure it was the library, and that actually caused this moral panic, you know, revolving around games, because they were big fans of the game Doom. You know, they played it a lot back in the day on their computers and consoles, and they even made their own little rooms to kill other people in the game, you know. So, and there was even a video game made about this, you know, which was kind of in poor taste depending on how you see it. But the thing is that it began to spread this, you know, belief that violent games were the reason why teenagers were acting out, you know. It's actually kind of sad because I have been playing video games, you know, my entire life, and I have never ever felt the need to take somebody's life or hurt anybody, you know. Countless politicians, activists, and parents, you know, have argued against this for years, that it's the games that make their kids violent and this and that. There was a case here in Brazil many years ago where this kid played Assassin's Creed a bit too much and then killed his family. But, you know, if you really stop to think about it, the cases are actually not as common as you might think, you know. If a murderer goes out and kills people and he happened to enjoy playing violent games at home, that doesn't automatically mean that because he's a gamer, he's a violent person, you know, because it's just entertainment at the end of the day. However, let's try to get a little bit more into the psychological aspect of it. Bear in mind, the American Psychological Association once stated that even though there is a well-established and well-known connection between violent video games and aggressive behavior in general, empirical research as a whole has found that there is little to no evidence linking the two of them. So violence and video games are literally not connected at all. It's like impossible to put them together. A lot of the gamers who commit crimes, or it's just a coincidence, you know, or maybe they already had some kind of schizophrenic disorder or some mental disability that, you know, just pushed them a little bit further. They were already on the edge in the game, maybe just push them a little bit more, you know, but there actually is no correlation between the two, such that last year in 2022 there was a large-scale study that actually took 1,102 children between the ages of 12 and 17, 97% of which were gamers who had played games, you know, in the last day before that little study there. That entire community there of gamers who were interviewed, 50% of the boys and also 14% of the girls said that they actually preferred games that that had an M rating, M for mature, and AO, which is adults only, you know, even though they were pretty young. So they just have that, you know, that desire to play these violent games. And you might think, well, the kids are a little crazy, they're playing these games and their parents aren't even supervising them, you know, or whatever. Well, hey, in this same research, it was found that 25% of the parents who were buying these games for their kids weren't even checking the label. They weren't checking the rating, you know, the maturity rating, to see if it was proper for them to actually play it or not, you know. So I mean, they just pretty much give their kids money and let them purchase it. You know, when I was a kid growing up in America, when I was underage, I could not purchase a game without my dad, even though I don't think he really cared too much. You know, he would, like, whenever I asked for a game, he would just buy it regardless of how violent it was. But I don't really, like, the vast majority of my games when I was a kid were rated T for teen. You know, I had a few that were M for mature, but I don't think I even could play them, you know, until I got to a certain age, because the store, they literally wouldn't sell me the games because of that. I think that today it's largely more open because, well, nobody really buys physical media anymore, do they? You just get your games online, whether it's on Xbox Game Pass or PSN or Steam, whatever. So I think that today it's a lot harder for parents to keep track of what their kids are playing. But still, if you're one of those parents who are always monitoring what your kids are playing on game consoles, you know, it's still very easy for violent games to slip through the cracks. And it's much more accessible for a child to play a violent game today than to watch a violent movie, for example. Like, you can limit what your child watches on TV, but not necessarily what they play, especially if you're the kind of parent who buys them a console just to shut them up, you know, so they get off your back. So it's really complex, man. But actually thinking that, you know, playing a game like Call of Duty or Valorant or any other kind of shooter out there today, you know, whether it's, well, Fortnite is not a good example because it's just dumb, but actual greedy shooters like, you know, like maybe Battlefield or something, or maybe there was a controversy some time ago about the Assassin's Creed that I actually mentioned, you know, but games that are much more primal in the violence, like Far Cry, for example, basically shooters in general. These games, man, the kids will play them for hours and hours and hours, and then they're gonna just feel entertained and satisfied, you know. They're not going to necessarily feel the need to go out and start taking a gun and shooting people. This doesn't happen with everybody, like it did with the Columbine Massacre, where they played Doom. I played one of the recent Doom games. It was a lot of fun, you know. It was really great to shoot a bunch of demons and see blood and guts flying everywhere, you know, breaking bones and stuff. And at the end of the day, once I stopped playing, that's all it was, you know. It was entertainment, you know. I felt good. It was good to relieve some stress, you know, because when it comes to video games, the more violent and over the top, you know, the better it is for you to chill. If you're a gamer, you're gonna know what I'm talking about. If you're not, then you're gonna think we're all crazy. It's just a freaking game, man. It's a form of entertainment. It's a way for us to just, you know, unravel and relax at the end of the day. The same way that you might watch TV or sports, or I don't know, listen to music or do chores or something. It's just entertainment and a pastime. We are not violent people. There was this research put forth some time ago that's called the General Aggression Model, or the GAM, which proposes that a gamer who plays many violent video games are going to create these cognitive behaviors of aggression, you know, in their brain that might actually be activated at a moment's notice, you know, which honestly is just so stupid, man. You know, the idea that your brain is going to fabricate cognitive scripts of aggression just because you play a violent game is just so dumb. But basically they think that they're going to reenact this in real life whenever they think that they're acting with hostility, you know, so they might replicate moments of violence in a game in real life, confusing what is real. Basically, they're saying that if you play a bunch of violent video games, it's gonna make you start doing violent things in real life, you know, because you're gonna confuse reality with fiction, you know. It's one of the stupidest things I've ever seen, man. You know, like, humanity has so much potential to put research into actual useful stuff, and yet they just concern themselves with this, you know. There are many people who sought to regulate the sales of games to children because of this, you know, because of the way that they think. And basically this study says that a gamer is going to play a very violent game, and it's going to influence their thoughts, you know, or their feelings, and give them maybe a physical arousal or something, you know, or might affect their interpretation of others' behaviors and whatnot. So it's basically going to stimulate their brain into thinking that these acts of aggression in a game will feel just as good, if not better, in real life, you know. So if you play a lot of Grand Theft Auto and go around killing people and stealing cars and stuff, you know, maybe you're gonna start feeling the need to replicate this in real life because of how realistic the GTA games are, which I honestly think is very stupid. Like, if you if you really stop to think about it, it doesn't make any sense at all, because I actually have a little bit of the research right here in front of me. You know, I'm trying to read from it, but it's so dumb because there are scholars who actually criticize, you know, myself included. So basically they think that it becomes an opportunity to rehearse acts of aggression which become more common in real life, you know, which of course you can, you're gonna bring back the Columbine shooting where the boys did play a lot of Doom to simulate what would happen in real life. But like I said, that was a specific and unique case that was acted out in a very bad way. It's not just because somebody plays a lot of GTA and they plan around a certain mission that they're gonna do that in real life, you know. You can't just kidnap somebody in a video game, you know, and think that it's gonna happen in real life, for example, you know, hold them ransom. That's not how this works, man. Video games it's not how it works, you know. And like I said before, I myself play a lot of violent games, especially when I'm under a lot of stress, you know. Lately, I've actually been playing a lot more sports games, you know, because that actually calms me down a lot more. But the thing is that because a lot of gamers are young, the demographic is very young today, you know, we can't deny that, especially with this generation here who's always playing games on their phones, for example. They are very impressionable, so I understand that maybe depending on how old the gamer is and how weak-minded they are, you know, maybe how gullible they are, a game can actually influence them to do something good or bad. But that's just it, man. Things are going to influence you. Jesus, the hell, a truck just drove by that felt and sounded like an earthquake. So like the older you get, the less impressionable you are with certain things, and the younger you are, the opposite effect happens. I understand that, but man, it's really not that hard for you to just not be dumb, you know. Like if you play a game that simulates something in a fictional environment, you have to understand that it's just there in that fictional environment, you know. Like I play a lot of Madden and FIFA and NBA 2K and NHL. It doesn't mean that I'm going to go out and try to be one of these be an athlete in one of these sports, you know. I'm too old to play soccer or hockey or basketball or football. Like it's not because I play these games too much that I'm going to go out and start doing these things, you know. I play a lot of Forza. I'm not going to go out and buy and steal an expensive car and start racing around town, you know. It all just matters. It's all about the psychological aspect, you know, how weak or strong-minded you are. So at the end of the day, do video games cause violence? No, they don't. They are just forms of entertainment for us to pass the time at the end of a busy day, man. There is no scientific research or psychological research put into there being any connection. Sorry, there is no research at all to suggest that there is any connection between games and violence. So just shut the hell up already. I mean, damn, just research on Google, look it up, and don't be one of those Karens, you know. Don't be a dumb parent who's always out to get everybody because your kid is an idiot who I don't know, acts out because he plays a lot of video games or something. That's just it, man. As a gamer myself, gaming has never made me violent. Sometimes it stresses me out. The game might piss me off because I keep losing or something, I keep dying, but then I stop playing it, go do something else, relax, take a breather, then I come back and do it again. And that's just life, you know? Games are life, and life is games. I don't know where that's going anymore. But anyway, I think I'm gonna wrap this up here, guys, because I'm getting burnt out already. I'm hungry, gotta eat some lunch, and I still have to put this video together for today. I am exhausted, you know. I'm sorry if this video came out a little weird and I feel like I'm low energy. It's because I am. I'm getting so burnt out, man. I can't wait to get to my 1000th video so I can just take a break already. Oh my god, and the birds won't shut up outside too. Holy crap. Anyway, guys, let me know in the comments below what you think. If you agree, disagree, you know, let me know. I would love to have a little debate with you. And if you happen to like this video, please go ahead and give it a like, and also subscribe to my channel because I release videos every single day. And while you're at it, hit the notification bell too, guys, so you can know exactly what time it is. My timer fell, my phone, I don't even give a crap anymore. This is Chazzy signing out for now. And as always, I will see you guys in the next video. God, I'm so hungry. Ugh, roll the outro screen. I'm weak.